When you look back in history, far, far, far before the development of medications and development of mental and even medical specialties that we have today, spirituality was paramount, was at the center of everything. People would, illnesses were explained by one's spiritual beliefs or spirituality. The healing was from spiritual beliefs and spirituality, religion, faith, such that people would say that something was wrong with your spirit. Now we need to fix your spirit somehow to get you better. This you could really go back to before medicine. And then with science and with technology and with all these new things happening, spirituality, faith began to take a background, began to really be moved aside. And as far as psychiatry is concerned, I think one of the biggest challenges that then happened was when one of our, I would say the father of psychotherapy, one of the main figures in psychotherapy, Sigmund Freud, stated that the belief in God was actually a reason why people got sick sometimes, that anxiety, neurosis might all be due to the fact that people believed in God. And therefore, the way to heal human beings was to use psychotherapy to disconnect them from the belief in God, and that might help them get better. So a lot of people, because he had a huge voice, a loud voice, a big voice, that became a very, very serious problem in psychiatry. I have to say, though, that his voice was not the only one there. There were counter voices, but they were not quite as loud as Sigmund Freud. I mean, Carl Jung's belief was the reverse. He said that mental illness was because people were deviating from God, deviating from the practice of God. So the struggle, I'm just saying the struggle between where does, faith, spirituality, and so on fall in psychiatric care has been existing for a long time. But what then happened was that the biological, psychological, and social aspects of care took center stage, and religion and spirituality were pushed aside. And that has been the case for a while. And, to compound on this, I think that there was a disconnect. There's always been this disconnect where the vast majority of adults in America believe in God, and they believe in spiritual, religious practices. The vast majority use their religious beliefs to cope with stress and distress and other things that happen with mental disorders. So the vast majority of people do that in the US. Even those who do not believe in the God of the Bible, so to say, believe in a supernatural being or a supernatural power or force, which they also connect with to help them resolve difficulties. So on the one hand, you have a public that is steeped in religion and religious beliefs and spirituality and faith. And then you have the treatment community that do not have that. They have the reverse. Psychiatrists have the least connection to spirituality. They have the least connection to God, the least belief that there is that God exists, or that their problems can be resolved through a focus on their spirituality. Psychologists, many of them are atheists or agnostics. So the vast majority of treaters, mental health professionals, do not have those kind of connection to spirituality, whereas the vast majority of the potential patients believe in that. And that has been the struggle so far.